This is Yo, one of the four sisters of the classic novel written by Louisa May Alcott in 1868, Little Women. Jo March stands out as a very peculiar character with much interest, especially from a feminist perspective. Throughout the whole novel, Jo is portrayed as a young woman with a strong and independent spirit who defies stereotypes and the status quo of women in the 19th century. This can be seen in several scenes in which Jo is portrayed as a masculine woman through the characters' dialogues. In Chapter 1, we see Jo's characters with evident masculine traits within her gestures and manners while having a conversation with her sisters. Meg, the oldest one, is mocking Jo for her boyish manners, such as whistling and putting her hands in her apron pockets. Through the conversation, it is highlighted the societal expectation of femininity and the pressure on women to conform to traditional gender roles. Meg expresses her discontent with Jo's manners in, "Don't, Jo, it's so biased. I detest rude and likely girls." The other sister engaging in this conversation is Beth, who is sympathetic to Jo. "Poor Jo, it's too bad, but it can't be helped. So you must try to be content with making your name boyish and playing brother to us girls." This is her encouragement for Jo to embrace her boyish nature, which reflects a sense of acceptance and understanding, but at the same time she continues to perpetuate the association of masculinity with Jo. Another example which helps us emphasize of Jo's characterization is the conversation between Meg and Jo in Chapter 14. "You have been running, Jo. How could you? When would you be stopping in such rampant ways?" said Meg. "Never, till I'm stiff and all, and have to use a crutch. Don't try to make me grow up before my time, Meg." In this exchange, we can identify how Meg connects the action of running with a rough attitude traditionally associated with boyish manners. A few lines later, Meg states, "What should we do with that girl? She never will behave like a young lady." Women were the passive, submissive responders. The order of dialogue was, of course, fixing heaven. The moment someone like Jo broke these standards, she was considered a tomboy. Jo's own dialogues contribute to constructing the stereotype of the strong-minded woman too. The protagonist is constantly emphasizing that she is not like her sisters or the stereotypical feminine woman. Jo rejects everything traditionally related to femininity, recurrently expressing how she does not fit into that pattern and has not only different dreams, but also different qualities. All those qualities that Jo mentions have been traditionally associated with masculine characters with a more active role. Men were supposed to be religious, although not generally. Men were supposed to be pure, although one could really not expect it. But men are never supposed to be submissive. Men were to be movers and doers, the actors in life. Women were to be passive bystanders, submitted to fate, to duty, to God, and to man. That is why Jo always expresses her willingness to develop professionally and personally, but is also stuck in the role of the protector of the family. All this is shown in the way Jo speaks about herself and her sisters from the beginning of the book. While the four sisters were having a discussion about who should buy her mother a new pair of slippers in Chapter 1, Jo states, "I'm the man of the family now Papa is away, and I shall provide the slippers, for he told me to take special care of Mother while he was gone." In this sentence, Jo proves that she has accepted the function of the head of the family, calling herself the man of the family, expressing that she knows that if she wants to fit in that role, she needs to adopt the masculine actions and characteristics that it requires. Jo March as a masculine female character is a perfect example of the double oppression of patriarchy towards women. Women have been obliged to adopt a submissive role in society. The qualities associated with femininity have been considered weak, inactive, and inferior, which have been excused for centuries of subjection that women have been and are still trying to escape. However, whenever women try to get out of the feminine stereotype, they are highly criticized for it and have to face a lot of obstacles. This is the reason why Jo is trapped between not being able to reach her dreams because of her gender and being heavily criticized by the rest of the characters and unable to experience anything related to womanhood. As Jo feels inferior, she strives to be superior, and to be superior means that she has to be like a real man. Jo fights against her feminine roles, developing a masculine orientation and becoming assertive and competitive. This is Jo. But it could be you, or it could be me, or it could be any woman today, because Jo's situation is a representation of a social problem written more than 150 years ago, but it still fits with our current society.